Greetings, superior beings. Greetings, supreme being. We are all the human race. Our common enemy is death. Welcome to Try Something.Vegetarian on YouTube, the channel for universal peace and new ideas for a better future for everyone, including all YouTubers on our planet. And I first want to say I love YouTube. I do love YouTube. And I think it's great that people can have this opportunity to live broadcast. Parts of YouTube live stream broadcast missing, though no frame drops and no outage. Part 2. So in this broadcast, basically I'm gonna just talk about the only thing that I want to bring across at the moment is basically that the broadcast about Trump possibly being a crypto Jew is completely online now. It's about 3 hours 25 minutes. So it is possible that message processing is not appearing anymore in the video manager. And then it is possible it's still processing when it's a long broadcast, over 3 hours, for example. So there's only one broadcast of which a piece is missing, the intro is missing, and it was due to the outage. So with that website that I've already shown, I can check it again, what name of the website is. People can check that for themselves. When there are YouTube or Google outages, then there can be several problems that people have, and I think they can also report it perhaps. Status overview, downdetector.com. So down detector is the one to remember for this, and then we can check YouTube. Here's YouTube, for example. And it also has a map of where problems are occurring, a live outage map. And most reported problems on YouTube: watching videos 51%, login 30%, website 18%. And the live outage map at the moment. Shows basically London, what is it, The Hague or whatever, in the Netherlands. When I zoom to this level, I almost see nothing. So there's not much happening at the moment, though this is kind of reddish. London, Paris, perhaps Amsterdam or The Hague or whatever in Europe, and in the US, Washington, New York, and usually also Japan and LA. In Japan everything's alright now qua YouTube. Comparable to, well, it's better there now than it was before. So there are almost no problems anymore in Japan. And I don't know if this, how this map is made, if this is made by people that report a problem, then if there is no problem, if they have a problem with their PC or whatever, and that's also registered, and I think it's still a great indication, an indicative website that shows when there really is a problem. So then if you have a problem with your broadcast, well, the problem is with that broadcast that the first part was not broadcast basically. So if it would be something important, then it could happen that a part of the broadcast, live broadcast, is missing. So that was just one broadcast on my channel. I think I want to go to Google News. So that's Video Manager. To see that name of that broadcast again, I reported about it in the previous part of this broadcast. So that was before internet hacked false flag cyber attack. False flag ISIS attack will kick off World War III. Let's all know what you think in the comments. So this one has also a missing part, or basically the other one is Trump a crypto Jew, has no missing part. Now the full 3 hours, 25 minutes and 56 seconds are available. I touched on a lot of topics. I think it's an interesting video, that it's interesting from beginning to end. I've watched the whole thing, also with my father during dinner. It is quite interesting, I think. But I'm not going into that now. You can all watch the broadcast. Could a time-traveling neural network have something to do with it, perhaps? It could also control the human mind. And how could we prove that? If we're using scalar waves, we need a scalar detector, I guess. An oscilloscope, a little cage of Faraday, and what's the other thing? It's online how to build one. But you should have a standard, basically. Perhaps it's measurable in, I don't know in what unit, in watts or something like that. Coulomb, perhaps. No idea. But people can Google everything. But serving them is not okay if they have planned to annihilate 7 billion people. Which I'm not claiming, that would be slander, you could argue. I think it's very well possible. Some people with a lot of power have planned a world war or some other event to destroy the Al-Aqsa and build a third temple, and it will be called Armageddon, basically. Which can also be Harmageddo, the place in the Bible. So that's the only point I wanted to make in this broadcast, that I love YouTube, and that only if there is an outage, which you can check with this website, downdetector.com, then it can happen that part of the broadcast is missing. The other broadcast is online completely. And perhaps I can make some videos about other subjects, favorite movies or favorite desserts. Egg Sabayon is not #1, perhaps baked Alaska, and I think bananas with vanilla ice cream, cold bananas or baked bananas. It's always nice as well. And there's now also coconut ice cream. That's a great creation. Abbott Kinney's coconut cocoa frosted or something, coconut ice cream. And it's lactose free, and it has yogurt cultures, and it's made with coconut milk. And the idea is perhaps to use filtered water in vegan products, if they're already too expensive anyway. And they have to eat it themselves, perhaps, who knows. Perhaps instead of all these expensive inspections, they could have as criterion that the seller has to eat part of their own product, and otherwise they're not allowed to sell it. In that way, you can make a fortune by skipping all these expensive inspections. And actually, I'm kidding. Are they really checking if Gentech food is out there, and could they decide not to put in any marker so you can recognize it as GMO? How far is Gentech developed, and is it really a population reduction tool? 37 people died of a GMO in a food supplement, and perhaps that was done deliberately. So that's why they didn't put it in a tomato, but in a food supplement. And 37 people died of the GMO, and there's also a report about 37 million dead honeybees, basically, which turns out to be a fake article. So boycott all Monsanto companies, or all companies that you don't like. I think that you could also think about boycotting the US or boycotting the Netherlands or any other country. I guess that's not illegal. But I'm not promoting that. I think that you'd have to be more selective if you really want to have a beneficial influence on the timeline. I think you have good and bad companies in all countries, basically. That type of idea. 7.5 billion people out there. Some are partying, some are making love, some are on the beach, some are skiing, perhaps in an igloo. So many places we could go, so many things we could do. And yeah, so I might look at the news in my next broadcast. I'll have to think about some subject, but it has to be something I like. And it's already past 1 in the Netherlands. Businesses relieved Trump backed off a trade war with Mexico, but his tariff threat still looms large. New York Times: Mexico, US agreed on border policies months before Trump tariff threat. Hundreds of thousands are protesting an extradition bill in Hong Kong. Here's why. Massive crowds take to streets in, quote, last fight, unquote, for Hong Kong. Parade of 2020, hopefuls create spectacle at Iowa Pride Festival. Iowa Pride. That's not the hetero or straight pride parade, I presume. Parade of Democratic presidential hopefuls. Descended on LGBT Pride Festival Saturday, bringing the spectacle of a crowded 24-candidate field to life. Let's see what they have to say in the video. So I think the Wisconsin flag has to go for the gay pride flag or whatever. The Wisconsin flag is still on there as well. So there are 3 flags. Three flags with the American flag on top. So in this case the gay pride flag is only 3rd place. 3 flags are showing. Is this capital pride flag? Ah. I thought I read something about Trump being against it or something. Well, then I have to read Well, I think it's comparable to the blacks, these people finally being accepted as people with equal rights and the right for women to vote, and comparable to these things, yeah. And I think it's a positive development, so I am not a homophobic person myself. And I'm against all abuse, so I think there are better ways to spend our time. A few hundred attendees gathered in a courtyard near the Iowa State Capitol building to hear 8 candidates express support for LGBT rights, a stark contrast from the 2015 cycle in which only former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley attended. But what I read in the beginning, parade of Democratic presidential hopefuls descended on a LGBT Pride Festival Saturday, bringing the spectacle of a crowded 24-candidate field to life. The crowd dwindled significantly when a mass of people followed Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, the third of 8 candidates, to speak out of the courtyard as former Maryland Representative John Delaney took the stage. By the time Washington Governor Jay Inslee spoke, only a few dozen people remained. People follow Bernie Pride Fest. So all in all, I think a positive development for the LGBT community. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. So transvestites are basically people that undergo a sex change operation, and transgenders don't want that. And I would also, well, I think doctors are also perhaps there's some reluctance to do that to people because it can be it's surgery, and people have to be really sure that they would want it. But I'm not going to talk about this now. So I also have transgender people, and I think one key issue is just separating the penile from the vagina so that rape cannot occur. So that's why we have female and male toilets and locker rooms, etc. So that if you'd also allow it in the military, then they wouldn't need anything extra. It wouldn't have to cost anything extra, I would argue. So I don't know what all the fuss is about. And programming kids with that idea that they can be who they want to be, I think most of them would be hetero anyway because of evolution, and that homosexuality also occurs in nature among birds. I myself am a heterosexual pro equal rights for all. That includes lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transvestites, blacks, whites, mulatto people, and Jewish and non-Jewish people, and everyone, 100%, including the elite, the pedo elite, etc. Everybody has equal rights. Of course, criminals also have rights. And these basic human rights, I think, do have an influence, though many people argue that the UN is not enforcing these rights, these laws, for example, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to the extent that they should. But I don't want to be too negative about the UN either. I'm sure there are lots of great people working at the UN as well. Or not. Well, what great thing has the UN done, or what great things? United Nations. Perhaps I should look at the wiki article. But I don't want to bore you all with that. Perhaps it's more fun if I just talk a little. And the idea was during my previous broadcast that it's better to just put that cam on myself. And I couldn't think about it in this broadcast, or do a separate broadcast about. So it doesn't always have to be the most important thing. About whether a straight pride parade would be permissible or not, because straight people have also been abused by heteros and by homosexuals and lesbians as well. Probably we're talking about millions of people. So some people were abused, and it's good to end vicious circles of abuse. And I actually think it's in my broadcast also how to do that, what my ideas about it are. And why not do it in this broadcast? If people find it boring, they can check something else. But I think most people are full of wonderful ideas. And basically they have to just think, and that's a step that many people don't take. Usually they are rushing from one thing into the other. So there are also rabbis that claim we have to slow down, basically. De-rush ourselves, come to our senses, breathing, yoga. I've been listening to healing tracks, but it has to be 528 Hz tuned or 432 Hz tuned. There may also be other healing frequencies, but avoid 440 Hz tuned music because that induces hysteria. That's Dr. Horowitz's article, and I think that may be right, that cymetics, etc. exists, and gluttony patterns and all kinds of things about musical cold control. I think it's quite interesting. Some people think that it's fake, and I think not. I think that he knows what he's talking about. I myself have the 528 Hz tube hanging above my head in my water bed. 528 Hz is something like this, I guess. Whoa, it's a bit loud, sorry. I can also use this virtual DJ program that has it somewhere in the sample section. And we can listen to a pure 528 Hz sine wave. So that's 1 minute of 528 Hz, which heals your DNA, and it's the love frequency. So if many people watch this video, then the love frequency goes all around the world. And that's a cool idea. That there and there people play my video, and then the love frequency comes on, and then Satan is gone. No, I'm kidding. There is no Satan, there is no God, so don't let them fool you. I'm just saying that because the neural network serves them and not the people of planet Earth, in theory. Though that's even harder to prove than the existence of remote torture weapons and all the other things I talk about. But the idea was also playing some music before I am high and after I get some THC in my bloodstream, tetrahydrocannabinol. Let's see. The whole pyramid in his hands. Phi-shaped printable pyramid you can find online, so that's pretty cool. And I think the phi shape is healing. It has healing properties, and it's possible because we're in this physical dimension. It has to do with the golden mean and some other things. So it's a mathematical perfect pyramid or whatever. The pyramid of Cheops. Cheops almost. High operations, live operations. Okay. Oh yeah, then I first have to play something before I smoke my universal peace pipe. Okay, without mic on. Inspired by Aeolia. Wow. They let me play good because I'm not high, I think. Am I right? That was really good. Well, and there's no use in playing again. But okay, I could use some other sound instead of strings. So now I'm basically playing the on-screen keyboard with my trackball. Perhaps that's interesting. Okay, so first I'm inhaling even more. To do the test. Nervous, my lords. The House of Lords is real. Nice, inspiring windows, spotlight, wallpaper. I also have an ASMR broadcast on this channel. Try Something.Vegetarian on YouTube. So yeah, that's it for now. All 528 hertz tuned. Pretty good as well. A masterpiece. Or not. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Thank you all very much for watching. Other broadcasts may be important enough to share in your timeline. This is also pretty nice. The music is pretty good. So yeah, and I have planned to, when I am talking, to sit looking straight at the camera. There's enough space so my legs are not visible. I can see the pink flamingo in the background. And my gaming machine. So I'm ready for love, and yeah, perhaps I'll do another broadcast about some news or about some other subject. I'll have to think about what could be nice. An ASMR thing, perhaps. But I think I just do what I feel like, usually. So I'm happy that this is recorded. I can download it and then I can play it myself. So thank you all for watching, and tune in next time on Try Something.Vegetarian. Please like and subscribe. And I don't know if it's possible to give me a positive review if I'm not monetized or anything like that. So I don't know how it works, but otherwise you can give other people you like a positive review that will give them more views. If you think it's important, they get more views, more influence on the timeline. Positive review, hoppa, top. Thank you all for watching. See you next time on Try Something Vegetarian.